Glory, honor, and praise to the Father in heaven, Allah, Father of the universe. This is myself. I am a minister. I am a messenger. I am a servant. I am a slave of Allah, the Father of the universe. Father has me starting a channel to divinefold. Let me say that. It's divinefold. Declare judgment to all of the nations that have conspired against the children of Israel, the so-called blacks. These are Father's nearest and dearest children that there is was a engineered, orchestrated oppression of these people, this nation. This is the nation that I incarnated. Father sent me to incarnate into, to our instructions, uplift a fallen humanity. This is my charge, this is my mission as well, as a vessel of Allah, a vessel of righteousness, by the guiding of his Father, God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father, God Allah. How Father will have us doing it in these timelines, where Father describes as our culture as a wicked and adulterous nation or world or culture, whatever you want to say. It's wicked and adulterous what is going on here, but Father's children are trapped. They're in the hellfire. And when I say the hellfire, I'm talking about their state of existence. They're in a state of death. What do I mean by death? Well, my nation are calling themselves what their father called them in 1774. Name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors of Northwest by the European nations in 1774. Negro, black, colored, and Ethiopian. What is meant by the word black? Black, according to science, means death. This is from The Great Meaning is On, Quran Questions for Moorish Children. My nation is in a state of death because they're calling themselves what Satan called them in 1774. Negro, black, colored, and Ethiopian, when we know that, I don't know what year that was, but blacks couldn't even own property. So that shows you how much of a state of death that my nation is still in, because they are still calling themselves black. They are still cursing themselves off of the mark, the curse, the label that was put upon them by the European nations. Even though the so-called blacks were on this land, so-called America, they were here before any European or any other nation was here. They are still denied the most, while everyone else has the chance to thrive in, capitalism, commercialism, consumerism, and commerce. This is what this channel will be about, to uplift a fallen humanity, to understand who they are in Allah, in the All. I'm going to read this paragraph really quick. And these soul attributes become a body beautiful. A multitude of lessons man must learn upon the plane of soul, and here he tarries many ages until his lessons are all learned. Upon the boundary of the plane of soul, the ether began to vibrate slower still, and then the essences took on a final garb. The perfumes and the odors and the true sensations and the awe of love were clothed in flesh, and man was clothed in flesh. Perfected man must pass through all the ways of life, and so a carnal nature was full manifest, a nature that sprang forth from fleshly things. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm coughing now. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so this carnal nature soon became a foe that man must fight, that he might be the strength of Allah made manifest. Let every living thing stand still and hear. Man is the Lord of all the plane of manifest, of protoplasm, of mineral, of plant, of beast, but he gave up his birthrights just to gratify his lower self. One way that's coming to my mind about gratifying lower self is working for Satan's empire instead of working for the Father Allah, where Father says, seek ye first the kingdom of righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And Satan said, get a job now, serve me, I'll give you a retirement fund if you actually live that long, and you neglect your spiritual duties, and you gratify your lower self, which, bills got to get paid, and you got to maintain a certain lifestyle. That's just one thing that came to my mind, because Father, this is why I had to withdraw, and this is why I'm not allowed to do certain work within the system, because Father told me, seek ye first the kingdom of righteousness, purify your soul. But man will regain his lost estate, his heritage, but he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. It's going to take everything to get your soul back. And when I say get your soul back, I'm talking about all of the life force energy that you gave to Satan's people, places, and things. You can identify that throughout your whole life. Yea, he must suffer trials and temptations manifold, but let him know that cherubim and seraphim that rule the stations of the sun and spirit of the mighty Allah, who rule the solar stars, are his protectors and his guide, and they will lead to victory. Man will be fully saved, redeemed, perfected by the things he suffers on the plane of flesh and on the plane of soul. When man has conquered carnal things, his garb of flesh will then have served its purpose well, and it will fail, will be no more. Then he will stand untrammeled on the plane of soul, where he must full complete his victories. Man is a thought of Allah. All thoughts of Allah are infinite. They are not measured up by time, for things that are concerned with time begin and end. The thoughts of Allah are the everlasting of the past unto the never-ending days to come, and so is man, the spirit man. But man, like every other thought of Allah, was but a seed that held within itself. We're talking about the genetic coding, the DNA. It held within itself the potencies of Allah, just as the seed of any plant of earth holds deep within itself the attributes of every part of that special plant. So spirit man, as seed of Allah, held deep within himself the attributes of every part of Allah. Now seeds are perfect, yea, as perfect as the source from which they come. We're not talking about you GMO seeds. We're talking about the spirit man seed. Now seeds are perfect, yea, as perfect as the source from which they come, but they are not unfolded into life made manifest. The child is as perfect as the mother is. So man, the seed, must be deeply planted in a soil that he might grow, unfold, as does the bud unfold to show the flower. The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah was full ordained to be the Lord of plane of soul and of the plane of things made manifest. So Allah, the husbandman of everything that is, threw forth this human seed into the soil of soul. It grew apace, and man became a living soul, and he became the Lord of all the kingdom of the soul. So, Yasere kime akasha konoya katsasu usrakinia totonia sipokonia sikomocha uchera tinia tu itukania kaduboka yakanya kadifachania antu shevarato ta atike nimane vatogasu yadugeru vetumia kabadoke tuve afatu iswashime vote tuati Adusenime kodukinian shede botanu. Yatania litusi evacha tu yavatu yangidi boko. Use ofa se mefa aka tiki bekanante doka se vacheru ikami. Jabetu e asu shibroa asu. Itanjige dupika manjaka bota tuya tufusoya sufiki ken tekaniante. Atuya se Esare oatire mu itonanime kare kamanshanchi efakani sike mota tetemonia tibire pepa efata mota ni sibike chike meama anche tui esibe atuya etorine ko eduyanti mine memoka isivetine asaudiuke me angajere bepointe ka muanta mige yeduyani tadiewa se okechea tetuatani Atakanu kanema nema sema kato. Asiru asini asani mekani makuno anja da moranti di tua nesentu isibeda baka kabadako. Ejabada manke de fokon giaka se washa kania sibarotu. Tora sarawase izare mea bada waki meaka se ishi akwa inki de ntua. That's what every human vessel is comprised of, these elements. Yatso sivo tamsu rakivu chuvio fita nisubu kumwantu I watch ve to ba to me mbokaba ikabara ba pate upokoni an sokotute o totui in shiwatu anti timena miaka. Adu akini mande do ake to fasesha e atu atini makiri beka moka se asesha ve kanite e tatire watu yesi venue akanike bidibishu tutani e so ateka e da miaka se pocho. We have to understand in Islam there is something called vessels of righteousness and there are vessels of destruction. There are vessels of Allah and there are vessels of Satan, and that's why this is saying I just lost that real quick. Hold on. And that's the intention of this channel. Father has instructed me to keep my videos as short as possible. As short as possible. Because the days are being shortened, lest no man would be saved. This is a charge for the this age of Aquarius. We left the age of Pisces. We're in the age of Aquarius. This is governed by universal law, and this is pretty much illustrating universal law. No man lives unto himself, but we're programmed that way. From the age of Pisces, we were programmed to live unto ourselves, right? For every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing, right? So no wonder there's so much confusion, chaos, division, and separation and sin in this world, because everyone's living unto themselves, not living as if we are all one. That's a universal law. We are all one. And this is another reason for this channel, is to raise the vibration on the planet because of this law, the universal law of one. No man lives unto himself, for every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing. Where was separation and division created? It was created by the father of lies, Satan. And that's really where we're coming from. In a state of consciousness as a collective of beings on this earth, we're coming from a state of separation and division, and we're coming back to the knowledge of the universal truth that no man lives unto himself, for every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing. So again, Father wants me to allow each individual that hears these words to save their own souls. I'm just one human vessel in this grand scheme of things, and I have my own individual journey back to the Father. What does your journey back to the Father look like? If you're listening to other people's journey back, and I'm not going to say back to the Father, it could be back to their father, Satan. But if you're listening to someone else's journey, how are you saving your own soul? The only thing that you should be listening to is these universal truths, these laws, these Father's words. And it could come in the form of a Bible. It could come in the form of Bhagavad Gita. Yogananda is a universal teacher. Buddha. We honor all of the prophets. It can come in any form, right? My favorite books are the Bible and the Quran. I'm not gonna say my favorite books. I love reading any book that is illustrating universal truth, universal law. I love it, but I'm more familiar with the Bible and the Quran, being both Christ consciousness and practicing Islam at the same time. I don't put I identify as Muslim, but again, we honor all of the prophets. And Father has prophets, messengers, servants, slaves, angels, jinn. Father has jinn. They operate in more the dense realms versus angels. They work in the higher frequencies, the higher dimensions. Jinn, they work in the more dense dimensions. They work more with manipulating energies, and Father has beings everywhere in every dimension and reality. So look, let's go to that. And except those days have been shortened, no flesh would have been saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. We are in these times now when the days are being shortened because, like I said, number one, all right, what did Father say about the elect? Father said, even the very elect shall be deceived, right? And it kind of goes back to that no flesh would be saved on earth because of these wicked and adulterous, murderous times that we are in. just real quick, because I wanted to get into the elect. Coming of the wicked one. Even the elect. Might be carried away by the current of popular delusions. We got this whole, the law of attraction stuff. And, it's like I said, there's a lot of delusions in that. Using these universal laws to get material gain when we know that this system and this society was, I'm talking about created from the age of Piscean. If you were programmed under the age of Piscean, you were programmed to be a debtor, a slave. That's why you had 1% usurp the resources on earth, and they merely loaned them out to you. And you live off of credit, you live off of debit, you live off of plastic, and soon a lot of people will be living off of a implant, a chip. You see what I'm saying? So if you were programmed under that world, aka that eon, you'll see all types of wonders and signs. Oh, look how I manifested $1 million, or look how I manifested the life of my dreams. And you, so all these, how I manifested my dream life, and all of that's applicable, and that's that absolutely can happen. I'm not saying that, but we don't want to place our souls in front of those, because it's going to be a lot of signs and wonders people are going to be able to produce from manipulating the denser realms. That doesn't mean that it's right or righteous, because we're at the end of a life cycle, meaning we just left an age. We left the age of Pisces. We are in a whole new world. And Father talks about the very elect being deceived during these times, because, again, if you were programmed in the age of Pisces, you were programmed to be a debtor. We're going to give you this credit line. You're going to go, if you want to live in a place, you're going to pay your rent. You're going to go get a mortgage. You're going to pay these car payments, like keeping you on a hamster wheel for survival, really, what you deem as survival. Having a home, having a vehicle, or whatever you have in your material world to live. These are the ways that Father's children, the very elect, are going to be deceived during these times, because my Father gave Satan his eviction notice off of the earth. But my Father decreed in heaven divine order on earth. Simultaneously, Satan was given his proverbial eviction notice. Satan, do away with this. Your tenants have to go. Your booty and prize have to go. Your commerce have to go. I'm building a new world. I'm doing it from scratch. So everything has to be demolished. Everything has to be destroyed for me to build a new world under this age of Aquarius that's governed under the virtues of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Anything in a spectrum of the positive polarity down to abundance, we'll have the hugest, juiciest plump of fruits. You'll be able to, it'll take you it'll be like 3 people to get one fruit off of the tree, and then your whole family will eat from one fruit. Your whole family will eat from that one fruit for the day. Now that's the world that Father is creating, you see, and it's such a stark contrast, this world where, we're seeing the portions get significantly smaller and smaller. You can't even, it's hard to even get full off of this fast, I call it fast Frankenstein food. It's made us into Frankensteins, really. So far from the consciousness of the divine, and all types of things. But this is why my intent for the channel is to take you out of your survival mode, and put you back into your divine state of mind. Even unto death I shall win the crown of life. Because a lot of vessels are going to have to die to be saved. If you haven't been working on reconciling yourself back to the Father in heaven, you haven't been doing the transmutation, aka the shadow work. If you've been giving all your life force energies to Satan, and you don't give him the remainder of your soul through the mark of the beast, then there will be beings that have to suffer unto death. Let me get that. This is what's coming upon the horizon for the children of Allah when they put you out of this system. Do not be afraid of what you are about to suffer. I tell you, the devil will put some of you in prison to test you, and you will suffer persecution for 10 days. Be faithful even to the point of death, and I will give you life as your victor's crown. Now, this is in reference to the end time script, where we are going into a full. And when I say we, I'm not talking about me. They're definitely not going to let me up in this bitch. But when you are presented with two options, either you get the mark of the beast, or you cannot buy or sell. This is what Father is talking about. This is one of the things that Father is talking about, where he's saying as well, even the very elect shall be deceived, because some of his children will want to save. The same way I talk to a lot of Father's children, the melanated children of Allah, and I talk to a lot of them and ask, did you get inoculated for the virus that was disseminated around the world for a global agenda? And I just asked a girl this earlier, and she said yes. And she said, but I had to. I didn't even ask her why. She said, yes, but I had to. I said, you didn't have to. I said, Father told you don't put any foreign substances in your body. You didn't have to. But that's just one example. Even the very elect shall be deceived. They're going to think so that they can survive physically, whether it be financially or anything. They're going to think that they have to do these things that the beast is putting upon them, how the beast is marking them. That's what they're going to think that they have to do. And really, again, it comes down to, are you going to suffer unto death to get your crown of life? Unfortunately, this is the position that a lot of Father's children are going to be placed into. And I'm about to get another scripture right now. I'm actually using them right now. I'm doing a sermon.
No.
You can't go inside.
No, they want me to use this because it says.
Oh, I'm doing a sermon right now. I can't stop this video. I'm doing a sermon right now.
I mean, we all have to share this.
I'm using both of the cords. I'm using both of the cords. Sir, I'm homeless right now.
I'm homeless too. That's why I'm here.
Well,
it's other. We all have to share this.
Well, I'm using it right now. You complain. Now, listen.
So,
I can cast you to the lake of fire. I'm using it right now. I'm using a plug. I don't care. I'm using the lake. Well, I'm using them right now.
So that we can share.
I'm using them right now.
You can still do your sermon.
I'm using them. I'm using them right now. I'm using them right now.
I'm using complaints, so none of us are
go ahead. Go ahead. You can do what you have to do. My father,
well, you ain't no Christian.
My father will deal with you.
You're a fake and a
I'm
phony.
a Muslim.
You a fake. I don't
he will deal with you. He will deal with you. And he will deal with your car. Goodbye. Goodbye. I can't. I'm using them. I'm using them.
I come here every day.
I'm using them. Goodbye. Sakin moya kati shupuka nchukudu bakite tuasi. Ota niye sabota sukia niya kanya shaki kudi atu. Esuya sikin miya shakadia kusero faka isuka niya seboka sha. Acha tuyaki isamina fakonia sukudu atu shedoki seakwa. I send that energy to his tires in his cars to play out today. Sokanian chabuta tuya kutonia sagamia kavajora tutania subokaduke. Asuria mia fadoa kenia kashu kanshakia kashashi tuati. Antonia kabeda wakatu sa se kia de kemwa kia dukiati ke para kinchakadua suka tu. Ya tu tena kia di fako asi se kama shikamate otanchi da tuno atsukia. Esuya shamika barukia kimia kosa ya fakanya kabarukia tu. Ja tuya kya miaka se kotonia kamanoa kidi fogonia kadosia kamnia konoa shakania keda kya de bakanua kidi bakodoa sukania sikomoka ufia kina kunia kya mwa kya duba kya te bakuyasi ya shevoya surea tu. Dieu a fait moi, c'est pour la tenue à couvert à boisser. Dieu a fait qui a mis à faire bouillir, et fouiller, c'est quoi, c'est moi qui a utilisé. Bien, d'ailleurs, on va faire qui a fait un c'est bien ça, bien c'est qui est beau. Jamais qui a fait tout ça, qui a fait tout ça. Zatiania, Tinawa, say what I know, what can you say? You shot your bucket when I see him before soup. All the energy he brought over here binds to his tires, his glass, his engine, his transmission, every particle of that car. And I command the destruction of his vehicle. And I call on divine justice in this matter. Etwea kania kabatukia se kare kemania fatoya se gabashe tua. Etamano etsedu fetuea sikibira puchae fotasi ashime. Ichai uraki se kuya se bukite. Tuetikato kanto kadu sufa esibutase. Ustea wanche mutia kate ka.
Isiki bitumon so buto nyas kunia kabuchuka koche off the asi ishia chua she kata kini ma kini no kubu to ati kini ati buka isiro kudi kini oka utani fedo mata tu waka tu kesu ese all to gate watani asake mwaka ni asi buka se kabara kima kata kini ya fucking ni akani skoda tikani Sakide akate ko sakide kote kate shikanye kibukini buta zakide foka utekanye kubara pate ku ito fate kanya na kose ufake akanya kenya sha batan dute rose ise kabare kaje badiko akate ten mute sibi a che de gando tenya na bota tu if I forget kini sha Squatiniano that the car, the care, the course, I said, I give me a fool. And banish from this divine vicinity, whatever it means, but don't banish him from my energy field. But the remainder of this earth and the other throne near me again in my energy field. Allah destroy your vessel. This is an attack now. You attacked me. You attacked me. And now your ability to get around on this earth is over. You lost your vehicle. You had a vehicle. You lost your vehicle. And you're destroyed in the name of Allah. That's it, man. This is the shit I'm talking about. But hey, you know this is spiritual warfare, so hey, that's what you want, that's what you get, motherfucker. I ain't gotta be no Christian or no Muslim. But I can cast you to the lake of fire, and that's where you shall go. So esa tuye atini review kodie kimia anga jegore wa didi shubua si ije dumia ngedu gama no tanu ke adikiru basi do bote shibua se ije miaka dakaduba su isefaka she kwanima kanduka se Isra kini mana manka ukedu ke tukasi iseva shera tero atuli kabaku ya tukanima shavara kanya su. Your life as you know it is over. Now let me get back to my shit, bitch. Alright, so this is why Father wants me to warn his children. Not those beings like that. I'm talking about the vessels of destruction. Had the nerve to come. This is how I'm plugged up. I'm actually in the parking lot. I'm actually in a parking lot right now. And I didn't go inside of the library purposely because I'm talking about certain things that you can't be loud in a library. You feel what I'm saying? I'm delivering this from the Father. So I'm out here. I'm in a whole parking lot. I'm in a whole parking lot using a plug. It's a whole library inside of there. A whole library with plugs and everything. And this individual wanted to come over and thought he was finna plug up while I'm giving my sermon, while I'm giving my message, and while I'm using 2 plugs. He thought he's entitled to come and make me remove one of my plugs so he could plug his thing up when it's a whole library inside of there. That's where the library is. If you go right through those doors right there, that's a library in there. This individual is in a car
They are in a car, so they have the ability to even drive somewhere else. And that's what Father says about oppressing those that already oppress. You got to know your fate is sealed, my nigga. You got to know your fate is sealed in the dimensions of hell. You are going to be locked into a continual state of weeping and gnashing of the teeth. When my Father take your fucking car away and destroy that shit, your shit is destroyed. Because whereas he could have hopped in that car and went somewhere else or whatever, or he could have went right in the library. After he did all that hoopla, where did he go? He went in the library to use the plug. So why couldn't he do that before? Because he's of his father, Satan. That was Satan just causing a distraction. And I wanted to get that on the recording because this type of shit happens from these devils, these vessels of destruction. You mean to tell me I've been here? First of all, I've been recording, but you mean to tell me you think that I'm entitled? I have to unplug my plugs so that you can come and sit down right up under me and use the second plug when it's the whole library inside of there. This is the audacity of the wicked ones. The wicked ones, they are narcissists. They are ridiculous in their narcissism. They are evil in thought. And that was just an attack that is, I have the authority to return any attack from Satan's vessels, wicked ones. Father has given me the authority to just, all right, that energy that you brought into my space when I was talking about the Father in heaven, that energy that you brought in my space, I'm funneling it up like a tornado, and I'm sending it to your tires. I'm sending it to your the frame of your vehicle. I'm sending it to your your engine. Yeah, I'm sending it to your energy too, but I'm sending it to your engine. I'm sending it to your transmission. I'm sending it to every working part in your car, the energy that you brought over here. And motherfuckers, they don't learn until it's too late. They don't learn until it's too late. And instead of you just going on into that library, you wanted to come over here to get your ass cursed. And that's the dumbest motherfucker to me. But when we're talking about vessels of Satan, man, these are real dumb motherfuckers. I didn't come for you motherfuckers. I can't do nothing to help you motherfuckers. I'm here just for the children of Allah, the vessels of righteousness, the vessels of Allah, the very elect, whom during this time, again, they will be deceived because they're going to be concerned with materialism. They're going to be concerned with survival. And they're going to take the mark of the beast. Let's see. Titinuya kinumaka nyato kani sibaritunte ka sekabatu. Ijati kemuaka se otasi. Iche kwaka nukibara makasu. Isake mwake. And I call in a divine release for anyone that did. Again, I wanted to illustrate how these vessels of Satan operate. It's quite hilarious if you ask me, but it's like, who the fuck are you? Like, are you fucking kidding me? You're a fucking clown for that shit. But for anybody that did hear that vibration of, I call it iniquity, of sin, that is a divine release back to the Father, and Father shall bring divine justice in and divine order in. And when that happens, motherfuckers start getting fucked up. Motherfuckers start getting fucked up because divine justice don't play. And divine justice works for us, works for the vessels of righteousness. and we'll make all that right. Because what you did, you cut in on Father's word. Look, I'm just a vessel. You interrupted Father's word with your nonsense. You're fucked, buddy. You're pretty much fucked. I really feel bad for you right now. And that's again, even the very elect shall be deceived. They try to threaten you with lies, and they try to threaten you with, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. You're not going to be, none of us are going to be able to use the plug now. And that's just not the reality. You can't come here and dictate when somebody has to let you use electricity. That's personal first and foremost. All right. You don't tell me that I have to get up and go off of using the electrical cord. You don't do that when there's plugs in there. Number one, and then they try to lie and say, oh, nobody's going to be able to use it. Well, that's a lie, Satan. That's a lie, Satan. So if you want to, let's just say this. That's why Father says even the very elect shall be deceived, because you're going to have Satan come in many forms and tell you this, tell you that. He's going to tell you, oh, you got to get inoculated. Oh, you got to get the mark of the beast if you want to survive. If you want to be able to use electricity, oh, you got to unplug your stuff and let me use one of the sockets. There's only 2 in here, by the way. Oh, you have to, you got to unplug your stuff and let me use it, or else nobody's going to be able to use the plug. So it's like, you got to be ready to really fight this devil. All right. Well, no, I'm not letting you use it. So you can go ahead and tattletale and let's just see what happens. But no, I'm not unplugging it. So you can throw a fit, you can throw a tantrum all you want to. And guess what? At the end of the day, you're going to be the one that suffers. Because what my Father's going to do to you, and the last thing that you did have, oh, he wanted to plug up a little mini generator. Oh, you had a mini generator? That's destroyed in the name of Allah. Oh, you had a car? And I'm sitting over here, I'm sitting outside to record for Father. No car, no way to get around except for my feet. Living outside. This individual has a whole vehicle and a generator, and trying to further oppress me and move me out the way when they could have went right inside of the library. That just shows you how the narcissism of these wicked ones, and why the children of Allah are going to have to fight a good fight against these motherfuckers. Because these motherfuckers, listen, they don't even want you to have a tiny space to yourself to plug your own stuff up and record. So this is what's going on. That no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. This is just Satan. Satan and his children. Satan and his vessels cannot stand the vibrations of the Holy One. That's just what this is. Like, you got a whole car to go find a plug somewhere. And you want to try to oppress the oppressed. Now you are oppressed in the name of Allah. Your property is oppressed. Your property is under a divine destruction. So as I was saying, I'm not playing with these people, man. It says you will not be able to buy or sell unless you have the mark of the beast. And that's basically, we're going into a digital currency system. And for example, like I was saying before, these dumb fucks came up to me, interrupted me about some shit that can be done. Like I said, he can do the same thing he can do out here, he can do in there. Again, if you go to the Whole Foods today, if you go to a Whole Foods today, you will be able to, it's a Kindle machine, and you will be able to pay with your palm. All right, so you're telling me we went from a gold standard, there was gold, being utilized for commerce, right? So we went from a gold standard, they confiscated the gold, then they gave you a fiat note, right? A paper dollar. Then they added a debit or a credit card, which is plastic. Then a part of that plastic, now they put a chip in the plastic, right? It's connected to a digital system. But now you don't need none of that. Now, if you go in Whole Foods, right? You register some stuff, and you just put your palm over the machine, and you can pay with your palm. You pay with your palm. This is just the prelude to getting the mark of the beast and being able to buy or sell in the system. That's the time that we're coming in. So this is why Father even has me doing this I'm doing this channel, because I've been tarrying since 2008 to redeem my soul back to Allah, my spirit man back to Allah. I've been tarrying since way long ago, right? But you have Father's children that have been tarrying for Satan for how long, that when it comes time for them to fully change over the system to digital, and everything goes on reset, guess what? It's going to be like this, where you have to, it says, and look, as soon as I click on the thing, this thing want to pop up. Revelation 2:10. Do not be afraid of what you are about to suffer. I tell you, the devil will put some of you in prison to test you, and you will suffer persecution for 10 days. 10 is just like 7 is the number of completion. 10 signifies something in the spiritual realm. Be faithful even to the point of death, and I will give you life as your victor's crown. That's for suffering unto death. So it's like, when they tell you you cannot buy or sell, you cannot be in this system, you cannot buy or sell unless you take the mark of the beast. If you want to go out there and get all hostile and start trying to fight back at that point and be labeled as a dissenter and get thrown into prison because you're saying, oh, I'm not going to take that, and you like, no, but I still need to get my needs met, and they're like, you can't buy or sell unless you have the mark of the beast, unless you have the chip, the implant, which it says in the forehead or the palm or the wrist, right? And right now you have who's doing the human clinical trials for let's see if we can find that. Neuralink's first in-human clinical trial is open for recruitment. This is an implant. The Neuralink is an implant. Now, I am not saying that the mark of the beast is going to be exactly the Neuralink. That's what it's going to be called. But some form or some derivative, meaning it's an implant. It's going to be connected to a digital centralized system that, again, if you do not take it during the time when they shift over into the full digital currency, if you do not take it, you will not be able to buy or sell. You will not be allowed in the beast system, because this is described all in prophecy, that we are going into a centralized digital system. That was what the COVID was about, why it was disseminated around the world, because of prophecy and how there is going to be the one world government. Because you have to understand how the world, when we're talking about the beast system, you have to understand the beast system is a shadow type of Allah. The same way that Allah has natural fruit, has natural, even, all right, I'll give this example, even like how Allah has natural grass. Now you'll have Satan and the wicked ones come and make some artificial grass. You got natural fruit, real fruit, and then you have GMO, genetically modified organism fruit. It's like you have the same way you have a shadow law court system. Father in heaven has a universal court system, a divine system, a divine law system. So we have to understand this physical and material world that was created in the age of Pisces is just it's a shadow type. It's a copycat of the divine order. And in this system, everything is inverted. Everything is backwards, ass backwards. It's just to throw the natural order of things completely off. That's how you're able to, I'm talking about the 1% was able to get everyone to go along with the program. You have to come to us as gods. You have to come to us to get all of your needs and wants met. We will merely loan it out to you, and when the end of the cycle is here, we're collecting everything back, and now we're in our next phase of what the divine order is. Father evicted Satan off of the planet, along with his tenants, along with his creations, and this just ties into the end time prophecies. So this is why Father has me even on this internet. Again, his children are lost in materialism. They are lost in materialism, thinking that they're doing what they're doing to maintain or survive in a system that is eventually going to spit them out, and tell you have to get the mark of the beast, or you cannot buy or sell, you cannot survive. And we're in that phase right now, literally. And again, if you even go into the Whole Foods, you don't need a paper dollar anymore. You don't need a plastic card anymore. You don't need a chip in your card anymore. You just pay with your body part. Now, if people are going that far, because all one has to do is look up the science of the palm, and they show you in all like these X-Men movies that your palm is an energy center, number one. Your palm emits life force energy, right? It does. This is science. So now wherever this exchange is going for you to pay with for your groceries with your palm, whatever dimension that is going to, your life force energy is being extracted. And that's tying into these technologies, these end time technology that will be used, to send you to the dimensions of hell, pretty much, because this is what Father was telling me about getting the mark of the beast. Father's saying everything that particular human vessel created, consciously or unconsciously, they will have to basically go through a process of transmutation in each simulation. So we don't know how many eons that's going to trap them into. People were creating Saw, like movies like Saw, like movies like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, movies like Freddy Krueger, all of these movies that they have year in and year out that are just totally evil and wicked. This is the thing. If you created that and you never transmuted that, which they have not transmuted that will be their process of transmutation. Father showed me, like, it's going to be like that episode of Saved by the Bell. Let me see if I can find that. That's crazy. Yeah, I personally cannot find it. But I know for a fact I saw the episode. We gonna get to the bottom of this, but I know for a fact I saw the episode where they were stuck inside of a television. I think it was Lisa, Zach. Was it? I don't know if it was Screech, but they were literally stuck in the TV screen, in the whole TV box. They couldn't get out of the TV. So I don't know why it's not on, why I can't find it, but that's what Father is saying is going, where your consciousness is going to be basically transported to, it's basically going to be like you're trapped inside of a whatever movies that you was creating through your third eye, whatever was telling lies to your spiritual vision center, which is your pineal gland, that is pretty much these simulations that you're going to have to go through all of these if you take the mark of the beast. That's according to Father. So again, this video is longer, but Father is telling me to keep it short, because again, it said, lest those days have been shortened, no flesh would be saved. We're just at those timelines where the days are being shortened, and one of the reasons why the days are being shortened is because Mother Earth is raising her Schumann resonance. She's raising her frequency. And as you know, whenever you raise your frequency, your vibration, it's it's moving faster, it's speeding up. Like the spiritual plane is moving significantly faster and has to slow down to materialize in the flesh, right? So because earth, remember, it's already done. Father already said divine order on earth. That's why we're in the age of Aquarius. We're in an age governed by love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We are just seeing the great falling away from a dark age to what we're in now, which is we're in an age governed by love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Right? So these are higher virtues. These are higher frequencies. The oscillation rate is much, much faster than a frequency that was governing the age of Pisces, which lack, scarcity programs, fear-based programs, all the fuckery that was instituted, implemented in us. Right? So things are moving faster now, whether we see it or not. The days are moving faster as the earth raises her frequency. And that's why it's saying, lest those days have been shortened, no flesh would be saved. Because it's moving so fast, you barely have enough. Listen, and this is another reason why Father has me doing this channel, because the time to save your soul is extremely limited on this earth. I would not want to be going to these dimensions where the beings on the earth are headed to, the ones that stayed stuck in these fear-based programming. And fear, look, lack and scarcity, that's a fear-based program. If you put Father's instructions on a back burner to survival and Satan, you become subject unto these programs, which is death. That's separation. Death is separation from Allah, from the true and living God. That is what death is. See, we look at things from a spiritual perspective. The English language has so many different meanings. So many different meanings. All you have to do is look in a dictionary and look at all the antonyms or look at the synonyms that one word can have, and let you know that this language is a very finite, low frequency language. But Father's truth does not change or pass away. Father's truth does not change or pass away. So this is the thing. If you put Father's instruction on a back burner for a system that's passing away, we're about to go into a digital currency system where you will not be able to buy or sell unless you have to mark the beast. If you are engaged in that lack and scarcity program, again, Father is saying this earth simulation, this earth experience is going to be like a 4 seasons vacation. Even a motherfucker that got the privilege to pick out of a trash, and they could literally pick out of a trash and get a whole slice of pizza, and that'd be a delicacy for them. You're not going to have the opportunity in the dimensions where you'll be going to, where Father describes it as weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Father said this earth simulation is going to be like a literal vacation spot. Like, yo, you gonna be like, how you looking back like, man, I remember that was the good old days. That's what you gonna be, what's gonna be coming up as far as your earth experience, if you don't get it right. Father said, come out of her, my people. So if you're still toiling and laboring for a system that ultimately they're going to make you get the mark of the beast, get a chip, get an implant to be able to buy or sell. If you're toiling for that, There's no hope for you. There's going to be no hope for your soul, where your soul goes when you leave this body. And again, this is why Father has me to do this channel, just to kind of lift your mind out of this survival mode, this materialism is coming to naught. The world that Father's created, again, it's going to take multiple people to get one fruit, to pick one fruit, and then your whole family's going to be able to eat from that fruit for the whole day. This is the world that's being created under the age of Aquarius. This is the world that's being created. So we look forward to these things, and that is righteous. So let me depart on that, man. This job is definitely being a servant, a vessel of Allah. Is definitely just comprised of trial and tribulation, because we live amongst the wicked ones, we live amongst the evil ones. But look, Father has given us in this age of Aquarius, Father has given the vessels of righteousness, the vessels of Aquarius, a dominion over Satan. And this is why Satan is continually sending his vessels to attack, to just harass, to annoy, to persecute us, to bring our vibrations down. But it raises my vibration to be able to call a virtue, a force in, such as divine justice, and all of us need to be doing that at this time, because again, this age is governed by love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The higher self virtues. And look, we have to purify, we have to purge our body of these low frequencies so that we can call these forces in. One of them being divine justice. Because this persecution of the saints, as long as Satan has any business, I'm talking about physically on this earth, the vessels of righteousness are going to experience persecution, because we threaten Satan's world. I mean, we bring it to a close even quicker. And Satan, the father of lies, does not know how to. He doesn't know how to let go. Father already said divine order on earth, but you got to understand, Satan, such an infantile creature, does not know how to let go. So whereas the vessels of righteousness, we've been through universal initiation after universal initiation of detachment from the material realm and having to let go. We are as it illustrated in the book of Job. We're in a different timeline. It was a different illustration, but we are that. Satan looks for us just to be able to go to Father and say, can I do this to them? Can I do that to them? Can I take this away? Can I take that away? Can I put them under this persecution? This is what Satan is continually doing to keep our vibration and our frequency lowered. If you're not serving Satan now, that's your lot. If you're not serving Satan will be good to you for as long as he can use your vessel. But if you're not allowing that, then you become the adversary to even Satan. But this is the thing that this is where Father's getting his children during these times where Satan and your enemy through his minions, through his vessels, become your footstool. You have detached from the material realm to such a degree that You know, this fleeting stuff it cannot even get you down like on some shit like, man, yo, I don't I'm out here on these streets, you know, so-called homeless, and I'm in jubilee. I'm in a joyful countenance. I'm suffering, but I'm in a joyful countenance because, oh my gosh, Father, you saved me from the hellfire. You saved me from the dimensions of hell. You saved me from tarrying eons, what could be ages, in a state of sadness, despair, grief. You know, the list goes on and on. Again, if you look at in your mind whom you have seen suffer the greatest on this earth, examples you've seen, it's not going to be nothing compared to the dimensions where these souls are going that chose to willfully serve Satan instead of serve the Father in heaven. And we know Father told us our job on this earth: seek ye first the kingdom of righteousness, right standing with me, and all these things shall be added unto you. That being the crown of life. When you leave this flesh, you go to a frequency, a dimension that is peace, that is divinely intended. It's not, the Father already said, he said when he said he doesn't want anyone to perish. Father doesn't want anyone to perish. So Father wants you to get it right this time around and be reconciled back to your divinity, back to your divine state of consciousness, which is Allah, the All, the Father of the universe. So with that, I depart. Glory, honor, and praise to the Father in heaven.